forget to check out Rose City merch. It's the perfect way to show your love and support for the show. From comfy tees to cool mugs and tumblers, there's something for everyone. Head over to our website and grab your favorites. The link will be in the description in the bio. Thank you, and back to our show. Hello and welcome to Rose City, the after show, the podcast where we dive into the popular novel Rose City by author Karina Q. In each episode, we will be discussing a different aspect of the book, from the complex characters to the intricate plot twists and everything in between. Check out Rose City on mystylebykarina.com to stay up to date as we explore unique perspectives and insights on the story. And by the way, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Give us a thumbs up and, hit that notification bell. Don't you want to know what's going on? Don't you want to be included? Okay. Included. Okay. So hit that notification bell. We want to hear from you. We want you to hear from us. Put something in the comments. Let's talk. All right. So good morning, Lily. How are you today?
Good morning. I am excellent now.
How is your feeling, girl?
I'm feeling good. That's why we need each other.
We be right here.
What about you, Miss T?
I'm doing good. It's been a morning, good morning, but it's been a morning, it gets busy.
A morning has been had, huh?
A morning has been had. I even gave away my coffee. That's how I'm doing this morning. My son woke up, he's like, Mom, my head hurts. So of course, I go right into mommy mode. So his head is hurting. And he had a headache since last night. And I gave him medicine before he went to bed, gave him a little prayer. He still woke up with a headache. So I was like, okay, well, this is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to do. So I gave him some more medicine, gave him some coffee. And he's like, ooh, that coffee was really good. I like that little dash of cinnamon. What was you doing this morning? I was trying to be fancy, okay? So I ended up giving him my
special.
I did. I love my coffee to be really special for me because I only have one cup. So I got to savor that joint.
This is season two. This is my little treat.
My little treat for that day. So I gave him my coffee. And he was like, my neck is really hurting. I have all this tension. I was like, all right, bring it over here. So I have it wasn't icy hot, but it was something a little bit less, not as strong. I like a good icy hot baby burn me, okay? But for, teenagers, they're like, what's that? It hurts them. But for me, I'm like, bring it on, soothe these achy muscles. So I put some stuff on his neck. So I put that on his neck, rubbed his neck. And I was all in it, honey. I had to get behind the ears and all those pressure points. And so got his neck together. And he was like, I'm having a stabbing pain in the top of my head. I'm like, where that ointment at? There's this other oil that I have. And it's tea tree and all these other little menthol and spearmint and all this other little stuff. And so sometimes when I have bad headaches or migraine, I'll put it right where I feel like the pain is at. And I don't know, it kind of helps to, to alleviate that pressure, that pain. I just put it in whatever that little spot is. I rub it in. So it was a whole morning. And I'm thinking to myself, how come when somebody else doesn't feel good, I go into naturopathic doctor mode?
That's just always been you.
I just break out into stuff. And I'm like, hey, but y'all don't do that for me though.
Right. I'm like, can I get that reciprocated?
All right, Miss Lady, I'm gonna let you kick it in for the icebreaker.
The icebreaker for today is: have you ever kept a secret that wasn't in your best interest? The secret between you and that person really works out for that person, but not necessarily in your best interest. And I'm going to let you answer while I think about my actual...
Dang it. The problem is with me, I always have so many stories of how I got effed over. Right. Which you want to tell, Karina? So I think the story that stuck out this morning to me, so there was something that happened years ago. I think it was 2007. And I was trying to have my sister's back because I know she was going through a lot at that time. But she had made certain promises to people about certain things, and then it didn't happen. And so when it didn't happen, people had questions. And I think that's, Lord, let me help myself, trying to get situated. I think that when you make certain promises about things and they don't come to pass, it's nothing wrong with people asking, hey, whatever happened to that opportunity? Hey, whatever happened to that thing? You know what I mean? Just ask clarification. So if the ship has sailed, it's okay that the ship has sailed. I just need to know it sailed, right? And I think she was embarrassed. So her way of dealing with it was I'm not going to talk about it. And I was like, I don't think that's the best way to go, though, because I'm getting phone calls from people in the family and close friends of the family. And they're like, yo, she said da 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 da. And it didn't happen. What's going on with that? And so I'd be like, well, I'm not sure as well. So let me go and talk with her. And so I would talk to her. I'm like, yo, so-and-so called and they want to, talk with you or whatever. And she'd be like, no, I don't feel like it. You can deal with it. And I'm like, I can deal with it. This ain't even my situation. I'm being nice even. Oh, what you mean I could deal with it? So she'd just be like, right now, I don't feel like I have the capacity basically to deal with it. Like, I'm disappointed. Stuff didn't work out the way I wanted to work out. So because of that, I can't really talk about it. I'm too raw. And so I was like, well, what do you want me to tell people? And she's like, you tell them whatever you want to tell them. And I was like, I don't think that's the right approach. I don't think I should just be out randomly saying ill facts, because what happens when it comes out? And then it's like, I tell Karina to say that, and you just really added some steak. And it's like, well, you told me to make up something, and I'm trying to, keep your little secret a secret. And so this went on for over 6 months, where I literally had my brothers calling me. My mama was like, what is going on? And I'm like, I don't know. I knew a little bit, but I didn't know the full situation. But everybody was calling and asking me. And I mean, at one point I was getting into arguments with my brothers, and they're like, no, you know more than, than you letting on to, and you trying to protect her. And I was trying to protect her because I didn't want people to beat up on her. But at the same time, I went back to her. I'm like, yo, you're going to have to say something, because I'm sick and tired of people calling me, talking to me, trying to get me to give up something that I don't really fully understand myself. And she's like, just ignore them. Just don't answer the phone calls. And I was like, that's not the right approach. And I'm like, and it's funny that you think that I ought to jeopardize all of my relationships with everybody else to protect your image. And I was just I was getting frustrated with her. And I kept having these conversations. I'm frustrated because I'm trying to have your back here. But at the same time, other people feel like I'm not having their back either. So something has to give. And she's like, well, you do whatever you feel like you need to do. I'm not saying anything. And I was like, F it. So one day I called my brother, and I just told him as much as I knew about the situation and what happened. And, same thing, I had to call my mom, tell her whatever I knew. I didn't know everything, but whatever I did know, I had to share. And they were just like, well, why she didn't tell us? I don't know. I said, I've been literally trying to talk to her and tell her, this is your story. This is your situation. These are promises that you made to certain people to deliver on certain stuff, and you didn't do it. Just talk to them. Just say, hey, you know what? It's my bad. I thought I was going to be able to have this come through at this time. The whole situation, it just wasn't what I expected. And I am sorry. And I say to this day, that happened in 2007. To this day, she still hasn't given anybody any type of answer about that. If you bring it up, she won't talk about it. And what I tried to explain to her was, I know you feel bad about the situation, but the fact that you won't take accountability and just say that you're sorry for letting people down, for disappointing people, I was like, that's where I lost respect for you at, because you were fine with letting me hang out to dry. You was fine with people getting mad at me too. Being like, well, Karina's holding on to your secrets. And I'm like, but it wasn't. I try to explain to everybody. I know everybody has questions, to this, and I do too, but that's not my responsibility to fill y'all in on whatever she didn't come through with. I didn't make the promises. I was told certain things as well. So certain things were told to me as well that did not happen. But I still got your back. I'm not mad at you because, oh, well, you said this was going to happen. Whoop-de bop, bop, bop. And nothing happened. And now I feel like I'm mad. I was frustrated, but I wasn't frustrated enough to be like, I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to deal with you. It was just I think you ought to just tell people, hey, stuff didn't work out the way I thought it was going to work out. And I apologize. And I'm sorry. I just kept telling her, just take accountability. Just tell people you're sorry. And she's like, I'm not doing that. I'm just not. They'll find out when I find out. When I get more information, they'll get more information. So what I'm saying is, you notice it's 2025. So that was 18 years ago. And you still haven't responded to mom and our brothers and everybody else in the family who you gave that information to. So I feel like that's very unethical. I don't care if somebody's she called her sister out, whatever, but I'm not holding on to people's secrets no more. And I've done that so many times. It's I was having people's back, but me having your back literally burned me. It was I picked up a cast iron skillet that was hot, and I'm holding on to it, and it went through my skin into my bone, and I'm still holding on to it. I'm causing damage to my own life, trying to have your back, but you don't care the blowback that I'm getting. You don't care about the fact that people at me talking crazy to me because they can't get in contact with you, and they're gonna come at whoever they can come at, whoever they can get to. You feel?
Right.
And she just got that. And I just told her, I said, I don't think it's right for you to think that it's cool for me to have to take whatever repercussions of the situation, that it's fine for me to have to put up with it. I didn't tell these people nothing. I didn't promise nothing. All you had to do was say stuff didn't work out the way I thought it was going to work out. And I truly am sorry, you guys. I'm disappointed and I'm sorry. And I said, people will be able to accept that and they'll be able to move forward with that. But what people cannot accept and what people cannot move forward with is you being a liar and never taking accountability. But I'm going to say it wasn't just in that type of situation. You'll see it in other things that people do as well. When there's a lack of accountability as a human being, everything that you do is when it's out of order. You don't know, never know how to come and just admit, I'm wrong. I'm sorry. I messed up. Right. And I feel like that's one of the greatest lessons that I've had to learn over the years. When you're wrong, Karina, when you have wronged somebody, offended somebody, even if that wasn't the goal, hey, take ownership of your part that you played. Allow somebody else to get the healing that they need. I'm sorry. That was never my intention. And I'm sorry I made you feel that way. But I think to just be like a coward about it, I'm not going to talk about it. Don't ask me nothing about it. I'll just shut down. That's mental and emotional instability. And you got a problem.
And then the other people are looking at you like, okay, she knows what's going on, but she's lying to us and not telling us because we're asking you what's happening. And you're saying, I don't know. And in their mind, they're like, no, you just ain't saying nothing, Right. So they looking at you sideways while, she's enjoying being thoughtless or whatever it is.
Yeah, and she was because she didn't have to deal with that blowback. She didn't have to deal with that. I did.
That's
but never again. And I've done it for too many times with too many people. And I will say that I'm glad at this ripe old age of 37 that I have learned some lessons, so that as I get older, I don't continue on making the same mistakes that I made in my 20s. You feel what I'm saying? Right. I don't have people who don't have loyalty to me. You know what I have loyalty to now? I have loyalty to the truth, and I want people to hold me accountable. And that's one thing I can say about my cousin is like, my cousin's going to hold me accountable. Like, and I always tell her, please hold me accountable. She's like, no, I'm going to do it now. You could probably be mad at me. And I've learned not to even be mad because it's like, I need to be reminded. Like, if I told you, I need you to hold me accountable in this area. And when you do it, I can't be mad at you for doing what I asked. I got to be accountable and say, I did ask for that,
Mm-hmm. That's why I'm great.
And you always stand on business, even if she has to stand alone, even if people get mad at her and don't want to talk to her no more, she's fine. She's like, okay, fine. Like I did what I knew I was supposed to do. And I'm grateful to have a rock like that because I don't want to be wrong and I'm right. No, for real though, because you can really get stupid out here in these streets. You could really get crazy. And, to have somebody like, no, I'm not going to tell you that's cute. Like, no, don't do that. So, I mean, live it, you learn. But my cousin always is going to be that person's like, yo, that's a pattern. You know what I'm saying? Like, they did it once, they will do it again. Cut it off, Karina. I know you got a big heart, but cut it off because you're going to keep getting done dirty. Don't keep getting sliced up.
Right. Well, anybody that knows me knows I'm probably holding a lot of secrets for a lot of different people because I'm a listener and if I could find a solution or whatever, I'll tell you then. Like, well, why don't you try this or whatever, whether you want to hear it or not. So I wasn't going to, but I'm gonna just talk about my past relationship. Y'all gonna hear it whenever it comes. So a few of my, including Karina, few of my cousins have, always had these stable relationships, good marriages, getting, having a home, having stuff like that. And so my big secret was we weren't at all. He was not what he was supposed to be. Rather than come out and tell, like, I really went through it. I went through the mud. And rather than me coming out to my friends and my family as, hey, this is what's going on. It's really embarrassing to me. But more importantly, more than my embarrassment, I don't want y'all to look at him bad. Yes, I was worried about his image and nobody looking down on him. I didn't care too much about me. That's what I meant by like it not being in my best interest, because my best interest at the time would have been to reach out to friends and family and been like, hey, I need help. I need to get out. I need to, but I didn't. I kept that secret. And I'm not going to put all his business on blast. And it's not necessarily just like no loyalty to him. He's a non-factor. Like, we haven't spoken in forever. So it's not that. It's just I ended up, yes, getting back home or whatever. But I know for a while during that time when I was struggling and just taking everything in myself and handling stuff myself and out in the street and stuff like that, nobody knew that because I didn't want nobody to look down on him. And it wasn't in my best.
She wasn't hoeing you guys. Like, she was not selling Bucci.
Oh God, no. I was sleeping in my car. No, not no.
She was not for those two.
Oh my Lord, no. Oh my God, I don't even think I have the capacity. Yeah, that wasn't in my best interest to hold that in that, hey, I made a mistake here. I need help. Oops. Part of it was, I didn't want to hear the I told you so, but it was mostly I kept that secret because I didn't want people to look down on him and people to, because that new, I mean, now I don't care. It is what it is.
He was still somebody who you were in love with and cared about. And you didn't want people to be like, well, what kind of man can't afford a place to stay for his woman? He lets them become homeless. Like, what kind of man does that, But still rocking with that person, still wanting him to feel like a man in the relationship, still trusting and believing that he's going to get everything back on track to get you up out of this bad situation. Because me, I'd be like, girl, come over. I got an extra bedroom, But I do understand what you mean. You want to try to protect your man, even if it's like, it hurts you. And let's be honest, it wasn't like he had a situation where he lost his job. He was doing stupid stuff that was causing his demise and everybody else's demise too. So
right. And then
making terrible decisions and choices.
Terrible decisions. But yet during that time that I was going through all this, I didn't talk to anyone. There was a period where I didn't even talk to Karina for like a year.
Yeah, it was a long time.
It was a really long time. I had gotten a Dear John letter and everything. But I wanted to be like, no, I don't want nobody to see me. I think we talked about it a few nights ago where I was like, I really didn't want nobody to see me like that. Like, this was probably about the lowest I've ever been. I've never been broken, but this is the closest to broken I was. So nobody knew. It wasn't just her, but everybody took it that way. Oh, she don't talk to nobody now. Don't even bother because she ain't gonna answer the phone. Don't talk to her, blah, blah, blah. And it wasn't that I was pushing for it was against my best interest. But yeah, that's what it was. That was a time where I kept that secret. I kept a secret that somebody, was making terrible decisions and also just wasn't, what I thought he was. So whoop-de-hoo.
Yeah, and I appreciate you for sharing that because that's one thing I always like to say is like we can get really real on here. We can have so much fun. We have laughs and jokes and we're goofy, and I love to fall out because I feel things from my head down to my toes, baby. Even a good laugh.
Right.
Those moments where it's like you're with somebody and you want to cover them, and sometimes covering people will kill you. And trying to be a supportive, spouse and definitely be very, very difficult. And I'm going to say, why did you feel like you couldn't, talk or say whatever you were going through? Because people are judgmental. People will never, especially in our family, people will never let you not hear the end of it, And so you have a lot of people who will go through things and they will hide it because they don't want it thrown up in their face later. And I'm going to say, as family, people have got to stop doing it. There are people dying in the gutter because they couldn't call home because they didn't want to hear, I knew you wasn't going to make it. I knew you was going to F that up.
You ran down there and got figure it out.
And I'm just like, and let's talk about you real quick. Talking about somebody ran down. In my family, they love you ran down and ran. It's called life. It's called experiences. One of the things that I have really try to stress to my kids that wasn't stressed to me, there's nothing that you can't do that we can't fix. If you move somewhere and you don't like it, move back home or move somewhere else. You're not locked into nothing. But like in our family, It's like if you move somewhere and it doesn't work out. See, I already knew it wasn't gonna work. I mean, you know, I shouldn't have went there in the first place. No, it's called life. It's called experiences. You know, your mom is from Oakland, California, and she, you know, came up to Washington. And I'm sure there was moments where she was just thinking, like, this ain't really working out here. I would like to move back home or somewhere else. You know, it happens. Your dad's from Brooklyn, New York. And I'm sure there's been times where he moved out here. Like, I don't want to be out here. Life requires that you're able to shift and move. And if I move here and it doesn't work out and I don't like it, I can always move back. Like, why are we so stuck in one spot? Why are we so afraid, oh, it's going to be failure? It's not going to be failure. It's actually going to be okay. But yeah, I think that's really disappointing. And I think a lot of people go through things because they don't want to hear people say, I told you so. Or they don't want to hear people say, well, what were you thinking? Or what did you think was going to happen? I thought I was going to be met with grace, empathy, and support like I would give to you, you know?
Right. And it would have been a big I told you so, because a lot of people told me not to.
But how many times have you told people not to do stuff and they did it?
And they did it. That's what I mean.
Why am I'm just holding everything you say like it's a cross in my hand. Why am I listening to everything that you have to say as if it's the gospel? But when I have stuff to say, it's like, I don't take no advice from you. I'm gonna say this. I don't want to ever be that person that when somebody's going through something, I'm pushing the button. Well, I told you it wasn't gonna work. And what did you think? I never want to be that person because it's not needed, you know. So
right.
Yeah. All right. You ready to go over the recap now?
Let's do it.
Okay. All right, let me get real animated in this. You know what I'm saying? Okay, I don't know where it came from. Okay, so the last time, my cousin's like, no, she did. The last time we left off, y'all, what was happening? Chan had went down to Antonio's office and he laid the dog smack down. Like, he really gave it to him. Went where he was like, he went over and kicked him to see if he was still breathing and he didn't move. He's like, oh my God, like, did I unalive this fool? Like, he was really beside himself. Dude, now, like, he didn't come to unalive people. He just came to like slap him around if that's what it needed to be. But I don't think Chan thought that out all the way, because you think you're gonna go put your hands on another man and he ain't gonna want to get dowdy with you? Like, we're not gonna do it. So at this point, but the scene starts and Chan is still in Antonio's office. He's pacing the floor. He's like, okay, how am I gonna get out of here? I got blood on my clothes. These people gonna see me walk out of here and they're gonna be like, yo, did he go and see the box? And he got blood. Okay, something happened. Phone, he calls outside. He's like, yo, pull up. You know what I'm saying, to his people. And they're like, hey, you want us to come inside? He's like, no, I got it covered. Just pull up. So Chan starts thinking he gonna stroll out the club, and they like looking at him like, bro, like, this fool got blood on his clothes. Like, what happened upstairs? So you got somebody, and they take off upstairs to figure out what happened. And let me go back a little bit, because there were some funny parts that happened in between. And I know you was laughing last night. Let me go back a little bit. So when Chan thought that Antonio was unalived, he started coughing or breathing funny or whatever. He's like, he's not. Oh, you frustrated? Like, why are you upset about that?
Like, he didn't want to kill him, but he was also upset that he wasn't dead. Like,
yeah, I was like, you can't have it both ways. So he goes over to him. And he kneels down and he's like, you made me do this to you. How did we get here?
I read that and I was like, yeah, that's clear.
If you ever do me that dirty and then ask me, how did we get here? You made me do this to you. I'm like, you know what type of animal you are mentally and emotionally? I didn't make you do this. You know, like, okay. No. He just told Antonio, you got what you deserved. I mean, I liked you on some level. This didn't have to go here, but you try to tread upon my land with Malia, and I'm just not going to have that. So, all right. So have my next shipment of money ready by Friday. I'll make sure that you have the blicks and the dope, whatever, supplied for y'all. And remember, it's going to be twice the amount now. Now, this man is laying on the floor, all beat up. And I think Antonio, his mind is thinking like he probably has like a ring in his ear, and in his head is probably throbbing, and he probably feels like things are broken, and he's probably thinking, how dare he come over here and talk nice to me? And and make sure on Friday everything is set up to go. Remember, you have to pay me double now. So all Antonio could do was like, I got this blood in my mouth. Let me spit it on him. And Chan's like, okay. So he lays it on his face. He gets up and throws the whole book, on top of him. He was like, okay.
He gave his version of an apology, somewhat kind of like, I'm sorry that you made me do this, but you don't learn no lesson. And then gonna knock the man in his face and push a bookshelf on him.
He was so out of it. He's like, okay, all right, so you're gonna spit your blood on me, okay? He hit him in the face again. He knocked everything over on him. He's like, okay, let me fix my clothes. And he strolls out. And of course, he starts, getting to like the middle of the club, and people who are working were like, his security was like, the hell happened? So somebody takes off and they go upstairs and they're like, yo, the boss, somebody call like 911 or something like that. Because like he done been dealt with. Like he's out, he's not conscious. The room is tore up. This man he did something. He did some stuff. He did some stuff. So at this point, they run up on Chan. They got blicks pointing everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Get your hands up. Chan's like, all right, it's time to do it. So Chan was strapped with 2 guns. So he pulls it out, back. You know what I'm saying? He's ready to go. So he's pointing one at the waitress who's screaming and crying. He got one another dude's face, and other dudes are like, look, we got 4 on 2. We got 4 gats. You only got 2. And he's like, well, I'm taking somebody out with me. So that's what y'all wanted to be. So they're over there just talking back and forth, talking smart to each other. They got poles pulled on each other. Then all of a sudden you hear, basically like freeze, everybody put your weapons down, and it's 5-0. Somebody didn't call 12. 12 come in, getting everybody down on the floor, taking everybody's weapon. Some of Antonio's men start to notice, wait a minute, Chan over there talking to some of these like police officers. And they're like, oh yeah, go get your suit dry cleaned and we'll see you later, sir. And he's like, wait a minute.
Would you like an escort?
Yo, that MF came in here and he beat Boss. Like he really killed, you know what I'm saying? And he's walking out, they losing it. Like they really are losing it. They're like, we don't see you on the street. Like his dudes are really, really angry because he starts to realize he put this all together. He knew it was probably gonna go down. And if it was, at some point, the police would come in. So Chan's like, I'll see y'all later. Deuces. Yeah. So people are all being arrested and folks' heads are being slammed on the police cars and stuff, and they screaming at Chan. Yeah. Chan, he's just like, yeah, okay, I had to do that. I didn't want to, but so he goes back to the warehouse, takes a shower, burns his clothes. But now he's like, yeah, that probably didn't happen the way it needed to happen, though. So he's thinking like his hand is throbbing. He's thinking this is probably going to get out of hand, and like, what was I thinking? Like, he's kind of like, I think he's having a little bit of like some doubt in his mind. Like, did it really need to go that far though? Like, okay. So Chan calls his father, to let him know that the deal with the whole Smith and Turner building was taken care of, and that's set to go. And Mr. Kong gets all gangsta and starts, and I guess you didn't think I was going to find out about that woman you're dating. So he's like talking real crazy. Chan, told you I did something good, what you wanted me to do. Now you gonna tell me about who I'm polling? Like, get out of my business, right? So his dad was like, and why are you paying off her debt and stuff? He's like, oh, it ain't nothing. And he's like, well, you wouldn't be doing that just for anybody. And he's like, man, she was upset about it. I'm not worried about it. She ain't nothing. Again, here we got Chan, who's like, throwing Malia up underneath the bus. Like, yeah, she ain't nothing. Like, it's not that big of a deal. And his dad's like, okay, yeah, you make sure you keep it that way. And so Chan gets off the phone with his dad. He's all like, I'm sick of him. He ain't gonna let this rest. He's just been digging in stuff. So he's also looking over the files because Chan had his dad's computer hacked. He was like, I want to know what he got on her because he seems to know information about her. I want to know what does he have on her. So when he's reviewing the files, he's like, he knows way too much about Malia and her life. And this is not going to work out the way I want it to work out. And so he's like, I think I might have to go to war with my dad. So the scene from there cuts, and now we're at the hospital. Antonio is talking to, well, he's not really talking to the detective. He's writing things down with the one arm that's not broken, because his mouth is all jacked up and it's broke too, right? And so here comes April running in and rushing in, and she's, oh my God! I mean, she's losing it. She's screaming, and everybody's like, the wedding, like, your fiance was almost murdered an hour ago, and you're worried about the wedding. And so her focus was like, let me call the wedding court because he can't be in pictures like this. Is not going to work. So she leaves. The detective's like, so you don't know who did this to you? And he's all right now. No, I don't know.
Okay. All right.
I've got one arm that's not broken. And he's like, no. And the detectives are like, yeah, he know more than he's letting on. So at this point, there's a big police presence. At the hospital, and a lot of his people who work for him, they're there. They're all riled up because a lot of them got arrested back at the club, and the other ones are finding out like, okay, so and so got locked up, and the boss is in the hospital. So they, you know how men are. They don't get him. You know what I'm saying? It's rah rah. Like, you know how, like, what type of time they're on. You know, everybody talking tough. Everybody talking about what we gonna do. You know, so that's what's happening there. And Antonio's brother, DeAndre, he's a new player that enters the picture, and he saw how April behaved, and he went after her and gave her a few choice words, let her know she was very disrespectful for caring more about the wedding than she is about Beyonce. She, how severe are the injuries? Is he going to be okay? I don't even think that she knows that he's about to go to surgery to get his jaw fixed and wired. All she knows is she's got to call and push back dates for the wedding. So he goes out into the hallway and lets her know about herself. His mama show up. You know, mamas, especially a Black mama, we definitely gonna be dramatic. Because I'm telling you, as a people, as a culture, we feel it from our head down to our toes. Okay, we feel it. The emotion, whatever it is. We're very passionate people, and we feel it all over. So mom's coming in and she's just wilding, and he's like, Mom, he's gonna be okay. Like, he was like trying to put hands on his mom, like on her shoulders. Mom, it's gonna be okay, because he knew his mom had a tendency to really act up and go there, and he's trying to keep the situation under control. So where the chapter leaves off at is DeAndre's in the hall, and he's fighting, going back and forth, and calling a woman. He's like, I need to talk to her. I know she don't want to talk to me, but I gotta talk to her in times like these. And so he calls a woman, and she answers the phone, and he's like, can you talk? And she's like, no, I can't. And she's real nasty with it. And she basically like doesn't want to talk to him, and he's hurt, but it kind of like leaves you off at like a cliffhanger of like, who is this mystery woman? Who is it? Who he want to talk to?
Who is this he had to call, who always made him feel better?
Knows that she doesn't want to talk to him. And what is that like about when you know? I'm sorry, I was texting my son thinking he might be coming down with something. So I think I'm gonna stop at the store and pick up some honey, and I'm gonna crush some garlic, some fresh garlic, and some whole cloves, and add some cinnamon and some oranges, some hot water, and give it to him.
There you go, world. Recipe number 1. Cold and flu prevention 101.
Yeah, it really works. It really works. So yeah, there's this woman that, you know, he wants to talk to, but he feels like there's a barrier. There's something about him that she just not really liking. And so I'm like, you effed up something, sir, because you just want to talk to her, but she don't want to talk to me. I can't get comfortable. My back hurts. So yeah, that was that. What were your thoughts on this chapter?
Of course, I try to take stuff serious, but there's just some stuff that it's just pure comedy. I'm sorry. I'm never that you can't sit next to during a court session or a funeral, because I'm gonna be over there chuckling about something. Like, if it's serious, don't look at me. I'm the one that's gonna make you break. I don't know why. With Chan laying the smackdown, I knew it was going to happen, but that we covered that in the last podcast, the argument that led up to that, and him flashing like that. But his reaction, I would have thought, because he seemed so worried, it left on a cliff note last time of, oh God, did I kill him? Oh, I wasn't trying to do that. And for him to go from so worried to, well, you know what? On second thought, yeah, you earned that. You earned every piece of that. And matter of fact, I don't feel you learned your lesson. And then decides to hit him some more, but it was a good hit. Yeah, I was like, oh, okay, that took a complete turn. I would have thought he would have been like apologetic. But yeah, with this chapter, yeah, I think this is the first time I'm hearing about a DeAndre. Was he mentioned earlier at any time?
No, and that's one thing you're going to find out as the story goes on in different chapters. New players are going to be introduced, so it's never going to just be like the same group of people. I mean, you have your core people, but you're going to be seeing different folks coming in because that's life, right? Like we have our core people in our lives, and then somebody pops up from here or there, relative supporting characters, the supporting actors, right? So yeah, this is DeAndre. This is Antonio's younger brother.
Okay, so I'm also intrigued as to his backstory and who he effed over pretty bad, to the point where he needs to call. And I'm gonna touch on that just a bit. There's guys that will live their whole life, do whatever they want to do, and then like when stuff goes sideways, or if it's bad or they're down in the dumps or they need help, then it's like, oh yeah, let me call that one chick that I can't
that
be
one person that who will always have my back.
Be in your
and what is that about?
And that's what I mean. And I'm like, if this is somebody that's always going to have your back, this is somebody you could count on, up or down or whatever, why does she always have to be there to receive your down? How about when you're up? How about when you're doing good? How about, today's a beautiful day. Let me see what she's doing. And, we could go take a walk in the park and talk about stuff. Not, well, my role's coming to an end. Let me see what she could do about it. Or, or just, I don't know. I don't like that.
So true.
Don't do that.
Why are people so quick to neglect the people who they say are their rock? Like you say that this is the most important person in your life, but typically the people who you love the most are the people who you mistreat the worst. Like,
yep.
How is it people who you don't care anything about, you have so much love, so much adoration for them, time to spend with them? Like I'd be like watching like old school movies from like the 90s. And when a man gets caught cheating, it's like, why did you cheat? And he's like, she didn't even mean nothing to me, Katrina. She didn't mean anything to you. Why are you with her? I love you though. I gave you my last name. Them other you would jeopardize what we Alicia, I'm getting evil. You mean to tell me you would jeopardize what we have for somebody you care? Okay. What should I do next? So I'm just like, and it's just like you ask yourself that question. You're jeopardizing something that's a sure thing. Somebody who always has your back. Somebody who, when the world is falling apart, they're going to help you stabilize and get everything together. Those are people you do. But like, isn't that what people do in life? The people who are always
they just want to keep them in their pocket, I bet you he ain't even married to this chick. Probably with somebody else.
And so it's just really, really crazy to me that people do that. People neglect and push away the people who they say always support them, always love them, always have their back. But those aren't the people who you give your best to. Why don't we start normalizing filling up the well that has been supplying us? You know what I'm saying? Like, why am I keep depleting, taking away from this area that's feeding me, but yet I don't do nothing for you? Who wants to be in that situation? I don't care if it's a friendship, family. I don't care if it's a relationship. Like, I don't care, whatever it is, like, it's not okay. Right. I get real passionate when I think about how good people get messed over, and it's always this thought of, like when you were saying about that person who called you on the other phone the other day and their life was falling apart and you had talked them off the cliff and everything. And I'm like, what is that about with people? Like, you do people dirty, but then those are the people you go back to for restoration. Whatever occurred to you when you was doing this person dirty, like, this is the person I always seem to need. This is the person that I always go to make me feel whole, complete, centered, balanced, whatever, or supported. So why would I, when times are good, why would I kick them when I'll have to go back to them?
Yep. That's when you're high and you're doing, or not high, like, but you know what I mean. You're doing fine, you're doing good, and then you're just like, you just call, check on them, whatever, and they whatever, leave me alone. You don't appreciate what you have until it's gone. So
yep. I'm not gonna be your emotional support. I don't care how bad your day is going. It's about to get a little bit worse. I think we have to normalize not giving access to people who don't deserve it. Like, that's something that I always like. I don't care if people do me dirty, whatever. I'm always going to be there for people because I love that person on some level and they're struggling and da-da-da-da. And I'm not new Karina, not new boo. She's not on that, I'm not new boo.
And Lily's learning. Lily's learning for the most part. I got it down, but yeah, I have taken more than I should from certain folks.
Right. I'm no longer interested in making sure that your world doesn't fall apart. It's not my business. Just like when you was out a billion mistakes and you wasn't consulting me about it or ignored me, that wasn't my business then either, right? So whatever happened, I trust that you and God are gonna work that out. And if you don't believe in God, you in the universe. It's gonna be
It's
whatever.
about-
It's
It's up. It's up. Figure it out.
me, you know, yeah, definitely gonna be on some other type of stuff. So, but I don't feel like I need to rescue anybody. Everybody's in a position to rescue themselves. So